Some of the complexities when it comes to templated classes is, well, you guessed it, cute. So you can make a class and make a template, and we're going to show you what happens if you try to do a Q object. So I'm going to right click this project, add new, and let's call this class. Let's call this test. Make sure it is a Q object, so it's going to include Q object and add the Q object macro in there. Next, finish. And let's just go ahead and add this into our project. Very simple, very easy. We just simply have our Q object in here. Now we're going to turn this into a template class. So I'm going to use the template keyword. And this is a little bit misleading. I know this isn't going to work, and I know why, but unfortunately it takes a little bit of explanation. So we have template. We're going to say class with a T. Now we need a templated function. So I'm just going to say T add, and we're going to make this function use T and call this value1, comma, T value2. Let's just go ahead and implement this right here in the header. I'm going to return value1 plus value2 and add in our semicolon there. So nice, neat, all right on one line. Beautiful templated class. Everything looks like it's going to work until we go to build, and then, template class is not supported by QObject. Oh, that is frustrating. So if you really examine this macro, you can just see they are blocking this. They will not allow you to use templates with QObjects because it becomes an absolute train wreck to figure out what's going on. That is frustrating, but it is for a reason. QObject is very complex, and you don't want to start playing around with it because, as we've seen, it can have disastrous consequences, and templates, by their very nature, are very fragile. And we want QObjects to be very secure and very hard to break. So to fix this problem, it's actually ridiculously simple. You just simply don't use QObject. That's right. So we can just strip this out. And we're just going to do a little bit of surgery here. We're going to strip out all the cute stuff in here and turn this into a normal C++ class. It's really not that hard. Now we just have a basic C++ class. I've still got this implementation file, so I can go into CMake list, go ahead and go in here, get rid of that. It's still out on the hard drive, so I'm going to flip over into the file system, and let's go ahead and get rid of that. Going to remove, and let's flip back into our project and make sure that everything is beautiful and the way we want it. Now, if I go to give it a nice little build, it just builds perfectly. So yes, you can absolutely do this with C++ classes. The complexity comes in if you try to do it with a QObject. You simply can't do it. Let's go ahead and work with this class here. So I'm going to say include, and we want test.h. Now I'm going to say test, and because this is a class, we have to give it the type. So we're going to call that intCalc, and then QInfo. Notice how when I do this, the definition of that function now knows the type. So what it's done is it's gone in the background and it said, okay, so we're going to use this class, this templated class, give it this type, and now every time I use that type name, it's going to replace it in the code. That is extremely powerful and also, yes, as we stated before, very error prone. All right, so we can just do 1 and 4, and let's see that in action. 5, there we go. Very, very cool. And of course, we can just take this and use this with different data types. So I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to do this with a double. Let's call this dcalc. And let's say this is 6.09, and let's do a 3.04, just because why not? And then we have 913. And this actually can do some pretty cool and unexpected things. So for example, we could, instead of our dcalc there, let's grab this and let's use QString. So we can work with a Qt class inside of a template. And let's call this scalc. And we're going to add in hello. And let's go ahead and make another one. Notice this just works. This is extremely cool. And it's converted it all into one QString hello world. That is extremely powerful. Major takeaway here is you cannot use QObject with templates. You have to have a C++ standard class or it just simply won't work. And when you use it, you have to use the class and give it a type. From there, remember, anything in these brackets, it's going to go in and it's going to replace right here. And then anytime you see this type name, it's going to replace it with whatever data type you gave it.